Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Morgan. This is my channel, Pisces Paperbacks, and today I am going to be doing a readathon TBR for you. I believe it was last week, but I saw beautifully bookish Bethany post a video basically announcing the Romance Takeover Readathon, and it looked really fun, so I thought that I should do it because I haven't done a readathon in a while, and I've kind of been itching to do one, and I've also been itching to read some more romance. This just kind of like lined up really perfectly. The readathon runs from November 29th to December 11th, so I believe it is 2 full weeks, and the hosts are beautifully bookish Bethany, the book Refuge, Who Picked This Book, Happy for Now, Library of Tomes, and In Love and Words. So 6 hosts, 2 weeks, and the prompts for this is actually a build your own bingo board. So I will link the page below, but there's this really cool Google Doc, and it has like an empty bingo board and then all of the possible prompts. There's like 20 you can choose from, and you can put together your own bingo board. So that is what I have done. I will put it on the screen next to me while I talk through my TBR, and it's just like really cool. I was thinking about using one of the bingo boards that like one of the hosts already made and just like copying one of them, but then I was like, no, I should like do it, and I can just make my bingo board on Canva. So here we are. The prompts that I have chosen for my bingo board are attend a live reading sprint, read a 5-star prediction, read a historical romance, read a tortured hero, read an audiobook, read a diverse book, read outside your comfort zone, read a book that's been on your TBR for over 6 months, and reread a old favorite. Obviously, I did not try to make this very hard for myself. I did pick a few prompts that I knew that would be really easy for me to meet, and that is totally fine, and you can't judge me because I made my own bingo board, and you can make yours to be just as easy or difficult as you'd like. Okay, so on to my TBR. The way that this is going to work is that I have 4 books here physically that meet some of the prompts, and then I'm also going to be reading as many library books as I can, and reading a library book was also a prompt I could have picked, so I did make it a little bit harder for myself. So I am going to be reading as many library books as I can, but because I'm pre-filming this a little bit earlier than usual, I don't actually have any of the books that I'm going to read from the library picked out because I don't want to like rent them now and then like have my hold run out halfway through the readathon. I'm just going to get them later, so I can't say specific book title names, but I can give you some author names that I'm probably going to be looking through to find the books that I want to read, so I'll talk about that when I get there. Alright, so the first book that I'm planning to read is Surrender to the Highlander by Lyndsay. This I'm using for my 5-star prediction book and also historical romance. Like, there's going to be other historical romance on this list, but just getting it out of the way, you know what I mean? So this is a Scottish Highlander romance by an author that I've read vampire romances from before and really enjoyed, so that's gonna be pretty fun. And this was also a book that I mentioned in my 5-star predictions video from a few weeks ago. For a book that's out of my comfort zone, I'm planning on reading The Lady in the Mirror by Judith Arnold. First of all, this would be my first Harlequin romance. I've never actually read a Harlequin romance before, which is a little bit out of my comfort zone, and it's also a contemporary, but it's a contemporary romance that was written in 1995, and the vast majority of contemporary romances that I've read have been published like within the last 2 years. So this is definitely a little bit outside my comfort zone. These 2 are both books that I got in my mystery book box from The Ripped Bodice. I have decided not to do a reading vlog where I read all 8 books that I got in that box because I feel like that's just a little too much work, but yeah. For a book that's been on my TBR for over 6 months, I'm planning on reading Temptation and Surrender by Stephanie Lawrence. I could not even tell you how long I've owned this book for. It's probably been years. I just don't know. I've never read it and I don't know why. The back of this book really doesn't give any information as to what the plot is, which is pretty typical of historical romances. All I know is that Jonas Talent has taken control of his family's estate after growing tired of like the London scene, and Emily has a villain who knows her secret, and this powerful force is pushing her and Jonas into each other's arms. So that's really all I know. It looks okay. I've really only read a couple other Stephanie Lawrence books, and I think they're fine. This one is particularly long. Like, it is 500 pages and very condensed, so we'll see how that goes. And then the last book that I own that I want to talk about is Running Hot by Jayne and Krentz, and I'm going to be using this for rereading an old favorite. As far as I could remember my favorite contemporary by this author, she also writes under the pen name Amanda Quick, and in that pen name she writes historical romances, and she's my favorite historical romance author. And through that pen name, this pen name, and her future sci-fi romance pen name, she has an Arcane Society series where people have kind of psychical powers, and this is one of those. And I remember really, really loving it. I've read it a couple times, and it's also one of the only books of hers I read through the library and then liked enough to hunt down my own used copy and to have it. Usually I just like read them at the library and I'm like, okay, that's good. So yeah. If I remember correctly, the main hero is a former cop who now works security at a bar in Hawaii, and the woman is a librarian, and they both have ties to the Arcane Society, which is the society that keeps track of people who have these powers, and they're kind of forced to work together to investigate a conspiracy that's going on. Something that I really liked about this book the first time I read it is that they both see auras, not like specifically the same way. Everybody's powers are a little bit different in this series, but this is, as far as I can remember, one of the only books in all of the Arcane novels, Arcane Society novels, where the pairing have very similar powers. They both kind of have the same like category of psychic talent, so I find that just fascinating, and I really liked their chemistry, so I'm very excited to read this one again. And now the authors that I'm most likely going to be trying to get some library books from during the readathon, the 4 that I'm really like interested in reading some from are Courtney Milan, who I've never read from before, Beverly Jenkins, Rebecca Weatherspoon, and Talia Hibbert. Those are definitely going to count for my diverse romance audiobook. And then I haven't mentioned Read a Tortured Hero, and I don't really plan on like specifically finding a book for that prompt, because honestly I'm pretty sure I'll just stumble across one. I'm almost positive that I'm just gonna find one as I go, and I don't need to look one out, so I'm just letting that one take me where it leads me. That is going to be it for my TBR for the Romance Takeover Readathon. I'm still trying to decide if I want to do 1 2-week-long vlog or 2 1-week-long vlogs. Please let me know in the comments which you would prefer so that I can like plan things out, because December is going to be really busy for me at work and I just need to be a little bit more organized than I usually am. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!